In this lesson, we're working on adding and subtracting polynomials. So H12, that's your homework for today. I'm going to look at just some problems off that homework assignment, and I'm going to start with problem number 1. So everyone in here needs to write it down. I'm going to be honest with you. I've said this, 1,000 times, but I can't do these if I don't write them down, and you can't either, okay? Just can't be done without writing them down. So that's an important element. Now, really, our textbook presents these in two different ways, a horizontal format and a vertical. We're going to look at the vertical ones first, and I really typically don't do these kinds of problems the way that they look here vertically, but I need you to be able to add polynomials however they're presented to you. If they're presented to you on a standardized test, an ACT or something like that, vertically, you need to know what to do. And it's pretty simple. In fact, the good news is nothing we're looking at today is really new material. It's just a matter of how we go about solving them. Well, the first thing I did is I wrote the problem down. Now remember, if I'm adding polynomials, all I'm really doing is adding like terms. And in order for them to be like, the variable portion has to be the same along with the exponent portion. Both portions have to be the same. So this is 10g squared plus 3g minus 10. Okay, so I can pair up the 10g squared with the 2g squared and the other polynomial. The polynomial is 2g squared plus g plus 9. So all I have to do is add 10g squared to 2g squared. Now remember that I know 10 plus 2 is 12, but I don't change the variable portion. Another thing I need to remember too is when adding 3g to g, those are like terms, and there is a 1. It'd make it 4g. That's correct. There's a 1 in front of the coefficient of g is 1. And so when I add 3 plus 1, I'll get 4g. Without a numeric coefficient there, the coefficient is always 1. Finally, negative 10 and positive 9. Negative 1. Perfect. So that's all there is to that. So adding polynomials is pretty simple. I'll look at the problem down. Just go straight down, 2 problems down. I want to look at number 7. In problem number 7, it's been written a little different. It was written horizontally, which is the way I prefer to see it. 3y squared minus y plus 3. Then plus 2y squared plus 2y plus 9. Again, it's just a matter of pairing up like terms and adding them. Here's a negative 1y, 2y, and last, the constant 3, and the constant 9. So to add these polynomials, it's 3y squared plus 2y squared, which is 5y squared. Negative 1 plus 2 is just 1y, but I'm not going to write the 1, so I'm just going to put it down as y. And then 3 plus 9, which is 12. So when I add those two trinomials, 3y squared minus 1y plus 3 to 2y squared plus 2y plus 9, I get 5y squared plus y plus 12. It's important to note that I'm going to write this polynomial in standard form. In other words, the largest degree. We talked about degree yesterday. This has a degree of 2. Y has a degree of 1, a degree of 0 without a variable. So each time I'm going to write my answers in order of the exponent, really, in order of the degree. So the highest degree will come first, followed by the next highest, and so on. So that's all we have to do to add polynomials, but let's talk about subtracting. It's a little different when we subtract, but not a lot. In fact, as I've already said, we're not using any new rules. Subtracting is going to use the distributive property. Let me show you what that's going to look like. Write down number 1 there underneath problem number 9 on the handout. Again, it's in a vertical format, and it's going to be written this way. 5g squared plus 6g minus 10. And we're going to subtract from that. Here's my subtraction sign. 2g squared plus 2g plus 9. Now, this is the key. This is very important. When I go to subtract, actually all I'm going to do is add the opposite. Remember how we distributed? This negative sign has to be distributed through the parentheses. So a positive 2 will become a negative 2. And a positive 2g will become a negative 2g. And a positive 9 will become a negative 9. I have to do that to every term in the polynomial. And so I'll make this an addition problem. And these are opposites. So now it's 5g squared minus 2g squared, because those are like terms, so I'll get 3g squared. And 6g minus 2g, which is 4g. And a negative 10 and a negative 9, which is negative 19. So the trinomial I end up with is a trinomial of the second degree, because my first term, my largest degree of each term is, this has a degree of 2. And it's written in standard form, 2, 1, 0. Exponent of 2 here, and exponent of 1 here, no variable. My trinomial solution is 3g squared plus 4g minus 19. Go straight down that column, and let's look at problem number 7. Still a subtraction problem, this time written horizontally. And so it's 7y squared minus 7y plus 7. Subtract 4y squared plus 2y plus 3. So now I've got 2 trinomials. I'm subtracting this trinomial from the first one. Remember, when I go to subtract, I'm actually going to just add the opposite, and I have to distribute the negative sign through again. So this becomes negative, this becomes negative, this becomes negative. So we'll rewrite as an addition problem, and I'm going to add a negative 4y squared, negative 2y, and a negative 3. So when I do that, I'm going to match up my like terms. 7y squared goes with 7y squared, or excuse me, negative 4y squared. Negative 7y goes with negative 2y. And last, positive 7 goes with negative 3. So this is 7y squared, negative 4y squared. That'll be 3y squared. Negative 7y minus 2y, both are negative, so I'll add 7 and 2 and get negative 9y. Last, 7 and a negative 3, positive 4. Just one quick note, when you enter your answers on your assignment on the laptop, be sure that when you put it in that you use the up arrow to indicate an exponent. While it looks a little strange, that's the only way that the handout will accept it. Please don't use spaces, please use the up arrow. So 3y squared would be entered into your laptop as 3y up arrow squared minus 9y plus 4. And that's on the homework assignment for today. So that's all you need to do in order to be able to add and subtract polynomials. You already have the information you need. Use the distributive property, know to combine like terms. It's a pretty simple process.